Creativity didn't used to feel scarce because people lacked talent. It felt scarce because creating was expensive. Every idea carried weight. Every attempt cost time, energy, and confidence. So people learned to be careful with their creativity. They waited for the right moment. They protected their ideas. They hesitated to explore too freely. Not because they weren't creative, but because creativity felt like something you could waste. That belief shaped how people thought about themselves. If I don't get this right, I'll lose my chance. If I use this idea now, I won't have another. If I explore too much, I'll dilute the good ones. Scarcity wasn't personal, it was structural. Creating used to be costly. And when something is costly, you ration it. That's how creativity became associated with pressure. And pressure makes creativity feel rare. But that world no longer exists. Not because creativity changed, but because the cost of exploration did. Creativity has always been iterative. Ideas have always improved through contrast. Brilliance has always emerged after movement. What changed is that movement no longer drains you the way it used to. Exploration is cheaper now, not emotionally, not intellectually, but structurally. AI didn't make people more creative. It made exploration less expensive. That's the real shift. When exploration becomes easy, creativity stops feeling fragile. You no longer have to protect every idea. You no longer feel like each attempt defines you. You can explore without committing. You can try without attaching your identity. And that's where abundance begins. This is why creativity suddenly feels everywhere. Not because people are copying each other, not because standards dropped, but because more people are willing to explore. They're not waiting for perfection. They're moving through ideas. They're seeing what survives. That's how creativity has always worked. We just forgot, because exploration used to hurt. This is the part most people misunderstand. Abundance doesn't mean everything is good. It means you don't have to be afraid of what isn't. When creativity was scarce, bad ideas felt dangerous. They felt like wasted effort, like proof you weren't talented enough. But bad ideas aren't the opposite of good ones. They're part of the path to them. Scarcity made people skip the path. Abundance lets you walk it. This is why creating more doesn't lead to burnout anymore. Burnout doesn't come from volume, it comes from pressure. Pressure comes from believing every output must matter. Abundance removes that belief. You stop asking, "Is this the one?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" That single shift changes everything. You're no longer guarding creativity, you're cultivating it. AI supports this, not by replacing taste, but by giving taste more material to work with. It gives you drafts, variations, perspectives, and you decide what resonates. Creativity stays human. Judgment stays human. AI just keeps the door open. This is why consistent creators don't feel shallow. They feel grounded. They're not chasing brilliance, they're letting it emerge. They don't rely on inspiration, they rely on exploration. And exploration works when it's safe. Scarcity made exploration feel risky. Abundance makes it natural. This is the quiet relief moment. You're not broken for struggling to create before. You weren't lacking discipline. You weren't lacking talent. You were operating in an environment where creativity was expensive. That environment trained caution. Now the environment supports movement, and movement reveals patterns. Patterns sharpen intuition, and intuition leads to originality. That's the chain. Creativity didn't disappear when people created less. It was waiting for the cost of exploration to drop. Now that it has, abundance feels possible again. Not because you're forcing it, but because you're no longer afraid to explore. This doesn't mean you have to create constantly. It means you no longer have to hoard creativity. You can trust that ideas will come again, because they will. Exploration ensures that. Here's the landing truth for episode 14. Creativity isn't scarce. It was constrained. Now that exploration is easier, creativity becomes abundant, not noisy, not shallow, but sustainable. You don't have to protect your brilliance anymore. You can let it grow.